Okay, Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Wakar Kwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutation you I came out there that's been pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. I have an article from Natural News, and it reads, the Oxygen bomb release on Ohio train wreck ignition will poison food supply for a century. Let's just get into it. But before we get into this article, it's going to do more than poison the food supply. It's going to poison the air, much more of what they poison it, do these chemtrails. It's going to poison the water, pursuant to Revelation 8 and 11. It's going to do more than just poison the food supply. People are going to perish. There's already reports that dogs, cats, livestock are dropping dead. Fishes are belly up in the water, floating dead from the contamination of the water. And it's only going to get worse. I also have another article that I want to read, going into the terminology of how these things have come to pass. So let's get into it. It says, the highly toxicants released from the deliberate ignition of the Ohio train wreck will persist for a century or more, contaminating soils, water, and the food supply from an entire region. These dioxins, which include 2,3,7,8 TCDD, are so toxic that their lifetime maximum exposure is measured in less than trillionths of a gram. Cancer rates are going to skyrocket and persist for at least two generations, maybe three. And that's what these elites plant. These elites plant these things. Nothing happens by coincidence. Why do you think they blew up? They set on fire them toxins to release it into the soil, to release it into the air, and to release it into the food supply. Because they know it's going to travel. Not this one train derailment, but 4 or 5 of them. The latest one is in Detroit, Michigan. So is it a coincidence or is it planned? It's called predictive programming because there's a movie, White Noise, I'm not mistaken, that goes into a train wreck. And it's something called gradualism, where they gradually, slowly but surely kill off the people. Do different tactics. The witch's brew, we all know what that is. And these different plagues that they're unleashing onto their public. Let's go further. It says, this is the biggest chemical weapons attack on U.S. soil in the history of the nation. See our story coverage below all the dioxins, and hear my emergency podcast on the subject where I connect the dots and reveal this may be foreign sabotage. It very well may be a foreign sabotage. Maybe the government did it. It's called distractions because of the Nord Stream pipeline explosion that was done by the American government, mainly by the CIA. That's why they got these so-called UFOs getting shot out the sky. And ain't no way in the hell Esau with his technology is going to shoot a UFO out the sky. The chariots of the living power out the sky. It's not going to happen. So these are diversions and tactics they use. Don't look over here, look over here. Don't look over there, look over here. If the mainstream media is not pushing it, if they're not reporting on it, it's done by design for them not to report on it. They don't want you to know what's going on. But the social media is so deep and so, out there that the truth is getting out there through social media. Because people take pictures and post it on, whether it's TikTok, on these different podcasts. So the news of what's going on, of what's really going on is getting out there. It says, that was it right there. But here's the video. It says, situation update, February 17th, 2023, Operation Chaos. Pattern of accidents points to deliberate sabotage by foreign actors. It could be. Very well could be. Very well could be. And we see that right there. I'm not even going to say nothing about that, but we already know. I'm not even going to read it. Or you can read it for yourself. See that? So it all points to one thing. And I got an article. I'm going to get into it. And hopefully you'll be edified. This is the term they use called democide. Democide is a term coined by American political scientist Rudolf Rummel to describe the intentional killing of unarmed or disarmed persons by government agents acting in their authoritative capacity in pursuit to government policy or high command. According to Rummel, this definition covers a wide range of deaths, including forced labor in concentration camps, victims, extrajudicial summary killings, and mass deaths due to government acts of criminal omission and neglect, such as in deliberate famines, like all these food plants is being destroyed, producing a manufactured famine, all done by design. It's called democide. It says such as in deliberate famines, like in Holodomor, and as well as killing by de facto governments, i.e., killing during a civil war. This definition covers any murder or of any number of persons by the government. Rummel created democide as an extended term to include forms of government murder not covered by genocide. According to Rummel, democide surpassed war. Democide surpassed war as the leading cause of non-natural deaths in the 20th century. Show you. This dude is the devil. This dude is the devil. What more proof you need? It's called democide. And that train derailment, or them different train derailments that happened in different parts of America, train derailments here, train derailments there. Like I said, the latest train derailment was in Detroit, Michigan. Also spewing deadly toxin to the air. And it's done by design. It's deliberately done. It's not a coincidence that none of these news outlets, mainstream media, is not reporting on it. Mainstream media is not reporting on this right here. Dioxins bomb released from Ohio train wreck ignition will poison food supply for a century. They're not reporting on this. I'm getting this from Natural News. They're not reporting on this. Let's see if we can get it right here if I go into this. Bear with me while it's slow loaded up. I don't know why, but it's loading up real slow. But it's going into that. So let's not get into that because I don't want them to. These are all the videos that you can listen to the podcast breaking it down. But we're not going to get into that because I don't want them to flag this channel. So let's stick to the article. And I'm going to get a few scriptures and we're going to close it out. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verse we're going to skip around, but I'm going to start at the chapter 15 verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. All these prophecies that's coming to pass, everything you see what's happening in this world has been prophesied to happen, and it's going to continue to happen. These are the words of the Most High, and the Lord is visiting the world which He have made. It says, fear not the imagination against thee. Let not the incredulity, the unbelief of the 2/3 of them trouble thee that speak against thee, that call us names, call us rapists, try to demonize us. The vocab Malones, the 2/3, and simple-minded as Negroes that's following this dude, vocab Malone, says, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee, which speak against thee, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. All the unfaithful niggas, the 2/3 Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, on down from Judah to Issachar, you're going to die in your unfaithfulness. It says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. That's exactly what we're seeing throughout the world. I read an article in South Africa. It was a tour bus collided with a van, and 20 people dead. 68 injured. The death toll of that Turkey-Syrian earthquake is well over 44,000 and climbing. They're no longer focusing on searching for survivors. They're focusing on those that they have rescued, and if there's more being rescued, they'll find. They're searching and finding, but their focus is more on, retrieving victims that's still trapped that they can hear close, and also the Turkish government is going after these flimsy contractors that has built these flimsy buildings, cheap labor, cheap material. It says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Part of their hurtful works is, you should see right here, chaos on these freight trains, upwards of the people, throughout the four corners of the earth. Death and destruction is on an all-time high. It's going to continue to ramp up. It's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. And it very well could be a deliberate sabotage by foreign actors, or maybe by the government itself. We brought up the terminology democide, when the government deliberately kills its citizens off. So this man is the devil. It says, I will hold my tongue. This is back in 2 chapter 15, verse 8. I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and the righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And therefore, saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them, and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people was led as a flock to the slaughter, because your so-called leaders are not telling you what's really coming down the pike, such as the MOTB, the Karagma. They're telling you it's sin. They're telling you it's sleeping with white women. They're telling you it's sleeping. They're telling you it's an embargo. They're not telling you what it really is. So our people, the Lord's people, which is the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, the 2/3 are being led as a slaughter. Let's a flock to the slaughter, and it's done by their own leaders, so-called leaders, in and outside of the truth. It says, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and will smite Egypt with plagues as before. How the Lord's going to do that? I think it's Jeremiah, if I'm not mistaken, Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 14. Let me just fact check that. I'm right to it too. Yeah, 16 verse 14. Therefore, behold, Jeremiah 16 verse 14. Therefore, behold, the days shall come, the days come that the Lord shall It's like I'm kind of excited. Jeremiah 16, verse 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. It says, okay, let me read it again. Jeremiah 16, verse 14. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that it shall no more be said, the Lord Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel, sons of Israel, out of the land of Egypt. Verse 15. But the Lord Yahweh liveth, that brought up the sons of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands where we had driven them, and I will bring them again to their land that I gave unto their fathers. And that's exactly what's happening. The Lord is raising up Israel to deliver Israel. Not the whole Israel, like he delivered the whole Israel back in the time of Pharaoh, Ramses. No, this time is only for his elect. And the 2/3 pursuant to Zechariah 13:8 is going to cut off and die. They're going to be cut off and they're going to get put to death in the land of Babylon. They drunk off that Babylon juice. You know, it's going to be many deaths behind this right here. Many deaths, you know, and they talk about acid rain. The rain is, it's irritating people due to that chemical spill and them igniting it on fire. And why would you, first and foremost, would you try to contain that spill? Why would you light it on fire to produce a big smoke so it can go throughout the four winds of the earth? Why would you do that? If it wasn't ill intentions in there, sinister intentions, and you doing that. It says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation shall be smitten with all the plagues. This is back in 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 12. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation shall be smitten with the plagues and punishment that the Lord Yahweh shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and the hail, and with a fearful consolation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. And we know that due to this contamination, the soil is going to be, let's go back to the article. It says, the highly toxin dioxin released from the deliberate ignition of the Ohio train wreck will persist for a century or more, contaminating soils, water, and the food supply from the entire region. From an entire region. That's the water flows. The air we breathe spreads out. So that deadly toxin, that smoke, is spread out. And they did it, and they deliberately did it. And the proof of that, they got something called democide. It says, back in 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 13, they that till the ground shall mourn, for the sea shall fail due to blasting and hell, and with a fearful consolation. Woe to the world and them that dwell in, for the sword and their destruction draweth near. And that's going into the race riots, the classic civilizations. So we're going to jump down. We're going to jump to 2nd Ezra chapter 16. And we're going to start at, okay. We're going to start at, we're going to start at 2nd Ezra 16, verse 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils come? Behold, famine and plague, and part of this right here, this toxins and being destroyed and ignited on fire is a part of the plagues, because it's going to contaminate the soil, it's going to kill off livestock, is going to kill off people. People are going to be receiving all kind of, they have shortness of breath. Cancer rates are going to explode. It's going to explode. So this is deep, and it's done by design. It's done deliberately. It's something called democide. It says, "For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine." Now let me read up a little bit. It says, "Behold, famine." Go back to 2 Ezra 16, verse 19. "Behold, famine, plague, tribulation, and anguish are sent as scourges for a minute." All these things that's happening to these people, the Lord is plaguing them to scourge them from to get right. Talking about the 2/3 you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. We're not talking about them Edomites out there in Ohio and who this is affecting, but the main people in Detroit, Michigan are Jake. It says, "Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in a good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion." People are in a confused state right now. They don't even know why all these things is happening. You know, people in New York City are receiving eviction notices, but yet they're sending billions of dollars, trillions and billions of dollars over to Ukraine. The homeless rate in America is skyrocketing, but yet they're not fixing the homeless situation. They sending billions and trillions of dollars over to Ukraine. Show you how much they care about these people in America. It says, okay, verse 2 Ezra 16, verse 22. "For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down." That's going into thermonuclear destruction and constant fire for them chariots. Make no mistakes about it. The Lord is going to bring more plagues upon this earth, more devastation, more destruction. Here's the podcast you can listen to. You know, if you brothers want to listen to it, go into it. It's from Natural News. This is the article that I found on Wikipedia. It's called Democide, and it goes into how the government deliberately kills off its citizens through different things: famine, concentration camps, forced labor. It goes into a wide range of things, how the government chooses to do away with their citizens. Here's the article once again. "Dioxin bomb released from Ohio train wreck ignition will poison food supply for a century." Well, we ain't got a century, because the Lord's finna to break this devil's stronghold on this world and take him out of power. So it's a wide range of scriptures going into Jeremiah 50 and 9, Jeremiah the 51st chapter, the first verse on down, Isaiah the 34th chapter, Isaiah the 13th chapter, 14th chapter, goes into Esau's demise. So I just want to bring out a few scriptures and this article, and the definition of democide, in which Esau, the government is using upon the citizens of America. And not only in America, they do this worldwide. So with that, I hope you out there was edified. I hope this makes sense. I hope I wasn't rambling. You know, Lord willing, everybody was edified. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.